Leanne, there are over 2,745,000 people who reside in the Free State. That's just about a little over 5% of South Africa's population. We met one of the ladies who lives and works here in the Free State, a lovely woman by the name of Lydia Plaatjies, and she served us at the Kalefontein farm stall and coffee shop on our way to Geriep Dam. And she just works hard. She wants to provide for her family. She wants to enjoy a good life, and she's looking for a government that means what it says and says what it means. And Lydia, this program is for people such as yourself as we take a look at what promises have been made and kept, and also which pledges were perhaps not kept and broken, and what vows the politicians have in store for you and your fellow people living in the Free State. And so let me give you a brief background as to the political makeup of this province as we go into an election debate. There are 30 seats up for grabs here in the Free State, and in the 2009 national and provincial elections, the ANC maintained its electoral dominance, taking 22 seats. The Congress of the People, the official opposition in this province, took 4 seats. We have the DA with 3 and the Freedom Front Plus with 1 seat. The ACDP is here with us this morning. They didn't manage to take home any seats, but I have a vow and another promise for you, Lydia, as I can say, that they're planning to make a big comeback. So let's get straight to it. We have voter vessels from the Freedom Front Plus. We have Vanita Kutsia from COPE, James Lituka from the DA. We have Joanne Down from ACDP and Benny Malakwane from the ANC. Let's go straight into it and perhaps begin with the name I mentioned last. With recent allegations of corruption in the Free State, yourself also having been named and mayor also having been made. We also saw a website for 40 million rand up for grabs that has been dominating headlines for all the wrong reasons. So much negative publicity in the last 5 years for the ANC. Do you still think you can retain your 22 seats or perhaps even boost it?
Thank you, Ayanda. I think the ANC, by virtue of having made considered and bold commitments towards improving the lives of ordinary citizens of this country, and the extent to which the ANC still holds the position of being hope for the majority of South Africans in general, and the Free Staters in particular in this case, and sometimes a choice for many. We still hope to retain the 22 seats that the ANC has in the Free State legislature, even annex more. It's not necessarily on the basis of one individual who is not necessarily the ANC, who may in this case have been hauled before courts of law to answer to allegations that people may use that as a reason for not having the confidence in the ANC. And I think because of that fact, this is evidence of ANC's commitment towards fighting corruption. And as we have said in our election manifesto, that those who have been found, who are ANC members, who've been found by the courts of law to have been corrupt, they would obviously be removed from the leadership of the ANC. And that in itself is a sign that ANC is committed to ensuring that there is clean and sound governance by itself and all its deployees. That's why I still say and reiterate the fact that it is not necessarily on allegations based on a single or few individuals that people would lose confidence in the ANC, even though the gains that the revolution and the democracy, liberal democracy that was brought by the ANC are so obvious for everyone to see. And to that extent, I still believe that I'm quite certain that the ANC will retain the 22 seats that it's got in the Free State legislature and even annex more.
You yourself, MEC, are subject of a probe for fraud and money laundering, I believe it is. You can correct me if I'm mistaken. You don't think it prudent perhaps to step aside as Health MEC for the time being while the probe is underway, or do you think that the show must go on?
It's not an issue of the show having to go on. Remember, I'm the deployee of this organization that I serve. And like it is well known, the doctrine of innocence before proven guilty holds true even in this case. And of course, maybe it would be some other people's wish that that should be necessarily the case. But until the courts of law decide otherwise, the ANC remains the decision maker in terms of the future of its own deployees, myself included.
Vanita, let's perhaps go to you. You're the official opposition. Congress of the People is in this particular province. But you also are a fragment of your former glory, some would say, with the wranglings and the infighting in Cope. Do you think that you perhaps can boost or even maintain the 4 seats that you have in Parliament?
Thank you, Ayanda. We are not a fragment of former glory. Our glory is still to come. Cope has gone through a cleansing process, and we now have men and women of the truth, people with very sound values that is going to run for province and is running for public participation positions. We will preach the truth, we will live the truth, and through giving the truth to all people what they deserve, we will definitely gain at least another 8 seats to increase our seats to 12 seats. We are confident that the people of the Free State has suffered more than enough, and they do deserve a better government.
Perhaps going just down the line, let's go to the ACDP up next. Joanne Downs. Joanne, no seats this time around for you, but you vowed to make a comeback in the provincial legislature, I must say. Tell us how you plan on doing that, because at the moment it seems there are no believers in the Free State.
I think there's plenty believers in the Free State, but it's not only believers that should vote for us. It's everybody, because we really have our finger on what's going on. For example, the Free State has the lowest life expectancy in the country. Which means that something's going wrong with the health department, most definitely. And I suspect that it's a lot to do with HIV, and maybe the rollout of ARVs are not what they should be. And we've got our finger on those issues. Mining in the Free State is one of the biggest sectors. It's declined by 7%, and there's still 880,000 people living in poverty in this province. And we know those figures, and we realize that things have to be done to sort those out. And so when we're talking to people, we're saying, you first have to measure the problem. And then when you measure the problem, you have to then fix the problem. And that's exactly what we aim to do.
Okay, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we'll speak to the Democratic Alliance's James Lutuka about the real jobs. I know the DA was marching for real jobs as well. Unemployment, something that's a key issue, especially in this particular part of the country. And we'll tackle all that and more when we return. Do stay right where you are.